What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to Touring Midwest. I will be your host for the duration of this video. My name is Andrew. If you're new around here, don't forget to give it an old thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the little belly bell so you don't miss out on any videos here from Touring Midwest. That was a lot. Got to get that all in there. Yo, you guys, I appreciate you being here for this video. In this video, I think we're going to talk a little bit about motorcycle camping and motorcycle travel in general. So I figure there's a few different types of motorcycle travel people. Now you're going to get the ones who just want to stay in hotels and motels and things like that, and that's fine. I think there's a perfectly good place for that. It's not typically the way I choose to go because, well, I love camping, but it's a little cheaper. Camping is getting expensive, which is probably another video, but yeah, I think you can save a little money by camping, and I just love it. I love being outside and waking up in the morning and seeing the bike right outside the tent there, just glistening from the morning dew and the reflection of the sun. I don't know, but it's cool though. It's cool. Wake up and have that camp coffee in the morning, right? But when it comes to camping and motorcycle touring and motorcycle camping, it has occurred to me recently. I'm not really sure why I didn't consider this earlier. I got to be careful for deer through here. This is a pretty good time for deer to be running. Alright, so it has occurred to me, and like I said, I'm not sure why this didn't occur to me earlier, but there's probably more than one type of motorcycle camping. So I make these motorcycle videos and like camping, my camp gear, this is what I do, and da-da-da. But here's the thing. I like to set up a base camp, you know? I go to an area, I want to explore that area. Like, we go out to Sturgis, we set up the camp for the week, we ride out during the day, we come back to the camp at night. And that's kind of the way I do it. That's my motorcycle trip, right? But it would be, think about it, it would be completely different if you're trying to make miles, right? Like, if you're trying to cover a large area, you're not going to return back to the camp, to that same campsite the next night. You're going to move on to the next campsite, right? For the next night. Until you make your loop or your whatever route that you're doing until you get back home. So it'd be a different campsite every night. Well, that would be a completely different setup, right? You'd want something that was easy to set up, take down, which my tent is easy to, I could easily do that with my tent. But I wouldn't need to bring so much stuff, right? Because you're not trying to be there for comfort. You're not trying to make a campsite like a livable space for the week, right? So there's a lot of stuff that you would just leave at home in that scenario. Or you might not even bring a tent. My buddy Skid Pig down in Australia always talks about swags, which is kind of a neat system. So it's basically a small tent with a sleeping pad and sleeping bag basically rolled up inside of it. So it's all one thing. You unroll it, you put a couple little poles in it, you stake it down or whatever, and you crawl in this little thing and you just, like it's your cocoon, you know? Like there's going to be like some metamorphosis happening. You wake up in the morning, you're all slimy, and you know, you break out of your cocoon and you fly away like a happy butterfly, like an Australian butterfly. But in all seriousness though, it's pretty slick. I've watched some video reviews of them and I had never even heard of them before that. Now we do have something kind of similar to that here in the States, like a bivvy or a bivvy sack, but they're not as nice. They're not like a structure, right? Like the bivvy sack itself, you just kind of wiggle yourself into that baby and with your sleeping bag, you know, and that's it. That's where you're sleeping for the night, just out there. opens up. And then there's more like a bivvy structure or a bivvy, well, I don't know all the proper terminology for these things, but basically they can just range. They have a wide range, right? And none of them are anything special, like they're small. You're not going to have room for anything else in there besides yourself, maybe your shoes. So there's pros and cons to things like a bivvy sack or things like a swag. But it's things to consider, it's things to think about, which, you know, I love making the motorcycle camping videos, and I still think that's fine. I could show you what I do when I'm out there, and then, you know, it just depends on the sort of camping you want to do. But keep that in mind if you're planning a camping trip. Are you setting up a base for 4 or 5 days? Or do you need to be mobile? If you need to be mobile, you got to think completely different. If you want to be mobile, you probably don't need the packable lawn chairs, right? It's super nice, don't get me wrong, to be able to pull out that packable lawn chair and have a proper place to sit at the end of the day. I cannot speak enough to that. Like, that's just crucial to me. But it's not a necessity for most people. And it's not a necessity for me, but I do love it. I love them. I love those chairs. And do you need to bring the stuff to make coffee? You're not going to need the cooking utensils and things. If your main goal is to just make time and be mobile and get miles on, you know, in a certain amount of days or whatever, you got this worked out. So you don't need stuff to make food and things like that. You're going to be probably more mobile, more eating on the run, right? Maybe you stop someplace for breakfast after you pack up camp, and then maybe later on in the day you might have a little snack, and then grab supper somewhere before you lay her down for the night or whatever. So it just really depends on the style you're doing, what you want to do, and how you want to do it. So I guess that's it. I don't have a lot of details on this. I just wanted to give it to you for something to think about. Different ways to camp, different ways to travel on motorcycle. And then if you're doing hotels or motels or even a cabin, then it's a whole nother scenario, right? Usually if you're in a cabin, you're gonna still have to bring like sleeping bag and a pillow, because they're not gonna have bedding, right? As far as I know. I mean, maybe some do, but then that's probably more of a base for the week, right? I don't know. You're gonna get a different cabin rental every night, or, you know, probably not. But a hotel, you probably would. So all things to think about and consider, and you got to pack a little different each time for each scenario, because different ways that you're doing things determines what gear you're going to need. So it definitely changes from time to time. But anyway, I'm done rambling, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Congratulations, you've made it this far. Check back for the next video. Same Braaap time, same Braaap channel. Keep her safe out there, y'all, and we'll catch you next time right here on Touring Midwest.